In the early 90s, Martin Lawrence didn't just enter the comedy scene, he detonated it. Loud, lightning fast, and gloriously uncensored, he became the first host of HBO's Def Comedy Jam in 1992. The second he hit that stage, the game changed. No censors, no breaks, he roasted front-row audience members, screamed unfiltered truths about sex and relationships, and had crowds screaming with laughter week after week. He wasn't just the host, he was the pulse of the show. Through Def Jam, he catapulted raw talents like Bernie Mac and Chris Tucker into the spotlight. Edgy, real, and unapologetic, the series turned Martin into a star practically overnight. That same year, as The Cosby Show wrapped up, Martin launched his own Fox sitcom, simply titled Martin. Playing Martin Payne, a cocky Detroit radio DJ who stirred chaos and often portrayed his own side characters, the show landed like a knockout punch. Season 1 pulled in around 11 million viewers. Fox knew gold when they saw it. By 1994, Martin was earning $100,000 per episode, one of TV's highest-paid stars. Everything he touched exploded. Edgy enough for the streets, polished enough for prime time, he was the bridge studios dreamed of, raw cable energy and mainstream packaging. Yet even with a blockbuster sitcom, Martin never stopped stand-up. In 1993, he released the album Live Talkin' Shit, complete with a bold parental advisory sticker. He held nothing back: sex, relationships, body odor, even calling out women who didn't keep it fresh. Fans ate it up. That same year, he filmed You So Crazy, a stand-up movie so explicit that the MPAA slapped it with a rare NC-17 rating. They'd only give an R if he cut chunks. Martin refused. "I took NC-17 just to say what I wanted," he later declared. Stubborn, proud, unfiltered, that was Martin. It wasn't a persona, it was his truth. Born April 16, 1965, on a U.S. Army base in Frankfurt, West Germany, he was named after Martin Luther King Jr. and John F. Kennedy, two icons of fearless leadership. That fire followed him. Raised in a tough Maryland neighborhood, Martin was small, scrappy, and always in fights. He ran with rough crowds, had minor brushes with the law, shoplifting, disorderly conduct in the late 80s. But his mom and brothers kept him grounded. "Most of my childhood friends ended up in jail," he'd say later. He could have been one of them. Instead, he turned pain into punchlines: anger, relationship drama, even arrests. If he could laugh at himself, he'd roast anyone. By early 1994, Martin was untouchable, a top-rated sitcom, an NC-17 comedy film as a badge of honor, and the crown of America's most fearless comic. That February, NBC tapped him to host Saturday Night Live. Ratings had slipped from 8.7 in 1992 to 93 to 6.9 the next season. Shows like In Living Color were stealing thunder. Producers wanted fresh, risky energy. Martin had proven he could clean up for talk shows: The Tonight Show, Letterman, Arsenio, Conan, all smooth. Jay Leno called him funny and wanted again. NBC saw him as the jolt they needed, but nerves were high. Just a week earlier, Alec Baldwin's Canteen Boy sketch, with a scoutmaster licking a camper's fingers, drew outrage from the Boy Scouts of America. NBC was already on edge. Martin's episode was live. No edits. No safety net. Tensions brewed all week. Martin pitched raw relationship talk for his monologue. Writers pushed safer bits, jokes about his sitcom, current events. Head writer Jim Downey urged him to stick to success stories. Martin resisted. Fans want real. Real means raw. Rehearsals saw him ad-libbing unapproved lines. Lorne Michaels warned repeatedly, stick to the cards. No improv. A short delay system existed, but it wasn't foolproof. To always fears, NBC showed 50 affiliate reps a toned-down rehearsal. Martin still slipped in a tic-tac hygiene jab. Lorne issued a final warning: go off script live, and they'd cut to commercial, with consequences. It started in dress rehearsal. Martin riffed on women not washing properly down there. Some laughed, others cringed. Standards and practices swarmed him. Cut it. He nodded outwardly, seethed inside. He saw it as truth, not offense. Phil Hartman felt betrayed. We prepped clean material, and he does that. Cast worried NBC might axe sketches. Jim Downey tried again: talk about your show. Martin called it watering down my truth. Backstage, Martin grumbled NBC feared a black man telling the truth on national TV. Even black cast members Tim Meadows and Ellen Cleghorn urged caution. Lorne paced. Crew added a 7-second delay. Affiliate reps saw another pre-recorded version. Martin still ad-libbed a shower/tic-tac line. Lorne was furious. Martin promised to follow cue cards. No one bought it. Minutes before air, the cast split. Some high-fived him. Julia Sweeney begged, "Please don't." Janine Garofalo called it sexist. Martin shot back, "Comedy doesn't spare anyone." The hallway froze. At 11:30 p.m., the show kicked off with a goofy Flintstones parody, Chris Farley in caveman gear. Then, ladies and gentlemen, Martin Lawrence. Flannel shirt, jeans, t-shirt, sneakers, gold chain, he looked tense. He started soft, dream come true, hosting on Saturday, light jabs at his show. Control room relaxed, then the ad-lib, "It's cold as hell in New York, some of y'all smell like wet everything." Laugh. Not on cards. Next, an approved Lorena Bobbitt bit, he mimed a man waking up missing his pilly packer, joking, "At least leave it on the pillow like a mint." Crowd roared. Lorne smiled, then Martin ditched the cue cards, removed his flannel. The signal. As a single man, he began, "Something hurts me." He locked eyes with the audience. "Some of y'all are not washing your ass properly." Boom. Gasps. Some laughs. Silence backstage. Commercial break, no one spoke. Phil Hartman stormed off, "He just killed this show." Lorne ripped off his headset, "How did we let that happen?" He ordered the monologue never to air uncut again. West Coast feed would be edited. Reruns trimmed. Julia Sweeney, near tears, confronted Martin, "That was horrible." He shrugged, "Just jokes." Garofalo told him he'd set women back 50 years. He snapped back. She walked away, the show limped on. Audience mics lowered. Next sketch with Hartman felt dead. Norm Macdonald on Weekend Update quipped Martin's bit made his OJ jokes look like Sesame Street. NBC phones exploded, 627 calls by morning. 3 positive. Viewers raged, "Vulgar, disgusting, locker room trash." Headlines screamed. Local stations apologized on air. One Texas affiliate aired a regret message before late news. Procter & Gamble pulled ads. Others threatened to follow. NBC promised warnings before future episodes. Martin's Fox sitcom dropped 10% in ratings that week, some blamed fallout, others competition. His image took a hit, talk radio feasted. Howard Stern defended him, a truth teller. NBC should give him a hygiene show. The National Organization for Women called it harassment, not humor. NBC owes women an apology. The final sketch bombed. At Goodnights, most cast stood distant. Cameras off, crew scattered. 3 days later, February 22, NBC West Coast President Don Ohlmeyer issued a memo, Martin was blacklisted. Not just SNL, all NBC shows. A booked Tonight Show appearance on March 9? Cancelled. Jay Leno's team protested, NBC overruled publicly. Entertainment President Warren Littlefield backed it. Ohlmeyer sent apology letters to affiliates, detailing jokes on oral sex, yeast infections, and John Bobbitt edited from West Coast feed. He vowed tighter controls. March 1, Martin's publicist released a statement, no apology. He never meant to insult, called it everyday humor. Critics said he dodged accountability. Fans didn't care, "You so crazy." VHS sales surged. A week later, LA Times ran Martin Lawrence, Dr. Dirt or Mr. Clean? He laughed, "I'm getting publicity and didn't hurt anybody." He called out double standards. Alec Baldwin's sketch aired, douche commercials ran, but his truth was banned. It's not the subject. It's who's saying it. Privately, he was rattled. He wanted pushback, not exile. A network ban? With a hit show and films lined up? Whispers grew. Brands hesitated, the ban wasn't official, no contract, but everyone knew Martin had crossed the line, yet he endured. Fans stayed loyal. His edge sharpened. The night that nearly ended him made him legendary. He leaned into the chaos. The industry recoiled, his audience pulled closer. By 1994, Martin had etched his name as raw, bold, fearless. But one night at 30 Rock, a single live monologue haunted him forever. Not a sketch. Not planned. Never to be repeated. He walked out, crowd roaring, and halfway through, unleashed a graphic rant on feminine hygiene. Crew stunned. Execs frozen. Phones rang. He kept going. Some laughed. Some stared. Some wondered if the show would survive the night. NBC had seen bands before: Elvis Costello, Fear, Steven Seagal, but never for words alone. This was taste, timing, the final frontier of network TV. The next day, Martin Lawrence was banned from SNL, a ban that still stands years later. The incident became myth. NBC never aired the full monologue. Reruns featured a dry disclaimer by Jim Downey. Martin offered a frank and lively presentation on modern hygiene standards, and nearly cost us all our jobs. Bootleg VHS tapes circulated. For most, the disclaimer was the monologue absurd, awkward, iconic. It bled into pop culture. A 1995 Simpsons episode parodied the disclaimer with Krusty. Rolling Stone ranked Martin among worst SNL hosts: gross, long, sexist, alongside Milton Berle and Adrian Brody. But Martin's moment endured most. By SNL's 50th anniversary in 2025, it was Deep Lord top controversy alongside Sinead O'Connor and Ashley Simpson. Maya Rudolph joked during the special, "Thank you, Martin Lawrence, for awkwardly advancing hygiene discourse." Lawrence smiled. 31 years later, for Martin, it became a badge. He calls it